Please subscribe and don't forget to press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload a new video.
Markets holding on to some gains, a few stocks moving around. The ticker team is keeping alive as well as we speak. We're moving towards 10,400. This is going to be the real crucial mark, actually, 10,400 and thereabouts. Remember, the all-time highs closer towards the 10,500 level. Someone was talking about the correction that we saw from 10,490 to around 10,120. Well, snap. We have made most of that up. Close to around 250-point bounce is what we have seen from the lows. But Prakash Gaba is with us. Prakash, Mangalam's not with us today. He is in Delhi. Hopefully he's going to be a good boy. But what about the markets? You know, what's your take over there? Do you believe that we can have a better second half of trade, or do you think we're getting into a bit of a resistance zone?
Market is also a good boy. Well, what we have seen last couple of days, Nifty refusing to go up and Bank Nifty refusing to go down. That was a kind of a standstill out there, more of a consolidation. The targets that I have for 10,410. So far, it's good. Like I said this morning, buy open, buy dips if you get it. If you get a breakout at 10,360, buy that as well. We've got a breakout. So I think upside is on as long as today's low holds. And Bank Nifty is into a pause mode. I think it's positioning itself up for a bigger up move now. So it looks like market is up. I have two stocks here. I'll go with
all right, Prakash.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Two stocks. Blue Star looks good to me. Good base formation out here and can climb to levels closer to 720 zones. Stop below 680. I also like Rallies India. That's stocks to watch. Looks like again a good base formation, consolidation, and up move has started today. Rallies India can climb to levels closer to 245 zones. Stop below 234. Could be a day or two moves.
All right, Prakash, you have given two of your stocks, but you know, these guys are talking about traveling and not being good and all of that. A lot of these alcohol stocks, they are buzzing. On a Friday, you know, pull up something like a Tilak Nagar Industries. They're into country liquor. How about that? And as I speak, Thomas Cook, that intraday chart should come up for you. That one too has surged. A lot of people traveling this weekend, perhaps. What are the charts saying?
Tilak Nagar Industry has seen a massive move in this month itself from 17 to 24. It's like a gift.
Right.
When you get a gift, take it. Simple as that. Stretched too much. I don't think I would buy here more, but if I'm holding it, I would continue with a stop below 22. And if I have it, I don't mind booking profits as well. Tilak Nagar Industries.
All right, Prakash, see, Mangalam's a teetotaler, but he's asking you about all these alcohol stocks. I'm the good boy, actually. I'm asking you about tea stocks. You know, Jayashree Tea has gained close to around 15% in this week. We have McLeod Russell as well. That's up close to around 20%. Have they done their run? Remember, some of these stocks have been big underperformers in the last couple of years. Is it time for a cup of tea?
Jayashree Tea has seen a good consolidation. The consolidation, we got a breakout and is into 115 zones. I think in the short term, if someone is having it, book profit. But I like the longer term perspective as well. Looks like it's holding out and we could see a good up move here from maybe around 125, 130 zones. Now this is a time for a pause. So just hold on if you have it.
Okay, all right, Prakash, thanks so much for stopping by and in fact giving us your take on the markets as well as a couple of cues as well. Mangalam, you want to run us through some of those mid-cap gainers?
Absolutely. Nigel, you spoke about the tea part. Just grab a cup of tea or a mug of coffee, whatever works, and take a look at the moves that there have been on a lot of these stocks just in the last 1 month itself. We were talking about Infibeam, a lot of rumors doing rounds there. That stock up 40% this month. Indian Bank itself, Titan, that one itself is up around 25%. Spoke about tea and coffee. Tata Global Beverages, that one's been on a massive run, 22% added this month as well. Ujjivan and KPIT too. We're talking about technology stocks, the frontline guys from the mid-cap space. KPIT has moved 20% too. But the bigger movers, a lot of money made in the broader markets. Soril Holdings and Soril Infra, the erstwhile Store One Retail, the India Group Ventures company, both of them up near doubled in this month. Purvankara Automotive Axles, Apex Frozen, all of them up anywhere between 40 to 45%. But a couple of losers we had from the wind energy space. Suzlon down 17%, and Nalco too. While the metal stocks saw a massive rally in the earlier part of this year, which continued, Nalco saw a bit of a correction of around 14% in this month itself. This ChartBusters, a lot of stocks busting charts as we speak. V-Guard Industries, a doubler from the start of this year. Strong last quarter numbers too. That one's moved to the high point of the day. Along with that, we have a couple of these financials. Manappuram Finance, that one too has moved fairly well over the last couple of months. Now at the high point of the day, along with that, we have Ujjivan, which was one of the big movers of the last 1 month itself. But talking about big movers, Panama Petrochem, that one's in focus on the back of a good second quarter numbers, and that one's moved 20% this month. Pull up a longer term horizon and you will see the stock is up nearly 3.5 times from the start of this year itself. We're joined in the studio by Mr. Hussain Rayani, the Joint Managing Director at the company. Thanks a lot, Hussain, for joining in. First up, the last time you came in, you gave us a guidance of close to around 1,100 crores on the revenue and 60 crores on the bottom line. The first half of this year so far, you've done 610 crores on the top line and about 30 crores on the bottom line. You think there is an upside risk to the guidance that you had given? You want to revise it upwards?
We are pretty confident we will be achieving our targets. Looking at the half yearly, we have already crossed 610 crores with a PAT of 30 crores, so we are well on track. The following 2 quarters look equally promising with a positive outlook. Our order book position is quite healthy, and we anticipate increasing demands from the key sectors such as the ink and coating, from the rubber industry, from the cosmetics and pharmaceutical sector. So yes, we are quite sure we will surpass our targets.
All right. So if we have to revise that target, Hussain, the street is so excited with your numbers and with the stock on the whole, even after such a big rally. As you said that you're so confident about these numbers, the stock already has moved to the high point of the day. So just keep an eye out on that front. Last time you told us 1,100 crores, the number that Mangala mentioned to us. Now you have to do only 490 crores in the second half. So is there a possibility that you're going to be revising your guidance maybe to 1,200 crores? Is that a possibility?
Yes, it is a possibility. We are quite confident that now we can safely revise the targets to 1,100 crores and possibly in the region of about 1,200 crores.
Okay.
All right, 1,200 crores is where we can see the revenue. That is a positive sign. The stock, as Nigel also spoke, is at the high point of the day. But if you could tell us a little about your exports. The last quarter we saw about, 90 crores in exports. How was it in this quarter? Going forward, what is the likely run rate that we should expect to see?
In this quarter, we did an exports of about 133 crores. So it is a massive 43% increase over the preceding quarter. We have entered a lot of new markets, new regions, and we are confident to keep the run rate going.
All right. So exports 133 crores. So currently exports are accounting for around 40% of your total revenues in the past quarter?
In this quarter, if you will see, it is about 48%.
48% of that. Okay. So export market is growing faster than the domestic market. Yes. I think that's the sense that we're getting. Okay. Another quick question. What were your volumes for the quarter? And if I'm not mistaken, your total capacity is around 210,000, right?
That's right.
Last time around you told us you had sold around 46,000 in the first quarter.
Right.
What was it in the second quarter, and what kind of capacity utilization levels you're running at?
On a console basis, in the Q1 FY18, we did about 54,000 tons.
Okay.
In the Q2, we have done about 67,000 tons. So we are running at about 100% utilization at all our units.
All right. Hussain, if you could tell us, you've spoken about 1,200 crore revenue in this year itself. Earlier, you had given us a long-term guidance as well. FY20 revenue seen between around that 14 to 1,600 crore mark. The pace at which you're growing and the confidence that you're showing, do you want to revise that upwards as well? And is there any capex coming in? What sort of capacity utilization are you functioning at?
I think this year we have outperformed. But looking at the historical growth, we are confident to maintain about 20 to 25% year-on-year growth. We have a capex of 60 crores lined up until the 2020, and to ramp up the production from the current 210,000 tons to about 290,000 tons in the next 3 years.
All right. And why did the finance cost come in higher? I mean, I think it was mildly higher. It's a small finance cost. And what about the margins? They've come at around 8.5%. Why is that? Do you think that it will hold out at these levels? Because the last quarter it was more than 9%. It's come down now to 8.3%.
Right. The finance cost is because the working capital requirements have increased, so that would be the reason for the finance cost. On the margins, there was a slight compression in this quarter. This was due to the sudden increase in the crude oil price, and we could not pass on those increase on contracted orders. And as I mentioned, the exports, we have increased about 40%. We entered a lot of new markets, new regions with some attractive and promotional pricing. But if you will go on the subsidiary front, we have done about 37 crores with an EBITDA of 3.9 crores, so about 10.5%. So this would be very temporary compression.
Okay. All right, temporary compression, but you know, 9% or closer to the 8% mark, or 10% perhaps, as you said?
We are confident margins would stay healthy between 9 to 10%. As long as the crude is within a range and you know, gradually fluctuating, it is not a big concern. It is the very sharp and abrupt fluctuations which can be challenging, because most of our orders we negotiate with our customers on a month-to-month basis. So any changes in the raw material prices are passed on.
Okay, all right. Thanks so much, Hussain, for coming down and in fact giving us all those details. All the best for the remainder of this year. Well, the stock is in focus. It's been a big gainer. And as Hussain said, well, the management is confident that maybe they can do 1,200 crores at the end of quarter 1. They were confident of doing around 1,100 crores. So we'll be keeping an eye out on that one. Margins, though, was a bit of a disappointment going ahead. Looking at the headline index and saying, well, it's a Friday morning and we're trading in the green. But just take a look at a couple of stocks in the mid-cap space. Puravankara. Now, that one, in fact, has been doing well today. Just take a look at that. Volumes picking up. It's moved to the high point of the day. And in this week, the stock has given you 40% return. So keep an eye out on that one. But the other one, Jaicorp, you know, for the longest period, it didn't move above that 100 rupee mark. In this week itself, the stock has given you more than 45% in terms of returns. So just pull up the intraday chart of Jaicorp. That's the stock we are talking about. I think we should get that one up for you. And in fact, if you pull up a week-to-date chart as well, you'll see the stock has given you big returns. Every dip is being bought on that stock. Just pull up a week-to-date, 44% in a single week. I remember the stock not moving above that 100 mark for the longest time. But let's move on then. State-owned HAL's IPO could just be around the corner, as the company has received all regulatory approvals and the IPO could be announced soon. Rukmini Rao caught up with the management earlier and asked him about the timeline of the IPO and what's the order book looking like.
We know that we got the clearance from SEBI. So it's a process. Process is on, and I mean, as the process moves on, you will see the thing getting opened up. So there's no hurdle, no restriction. It's just as a process time.
Sure. So when do you expect to kind of float the IPO, and when are we working towards any kind of a timeline at HAL?
I would say that as soon as possible.
Sure. So also in terms of the general outlook for the coming year, and also in terms of your own export plans, what is it that is happening at HAL?
The coming years should be good for HAL, and then whatever numbers we are committing, we are clearing. At an average, we manufacture 60 new platforms, either they are fighters or trainers or helicopters. And in the future, we continue to do it. In the next year, next to next year, the numbers would be a little less, but then it would be average would be around 60. With regard to the exports, yes, we do have products which are created like advanced light helicopter. Previously, we were exporting it to the countries which are nominated to the government and except one which HAL won as a private contract. But today we have other products like light combat helicopter, where we started the production. The simultaneous demand requirement we need to fulfill because Air Force, Army require them, and then also we have countries which have expressed interest on this combat helicopter. We're making this Hindustan turbo trainer. There are inquiries for that kind of a trainer with HAL. And of course, you saw the latest news on the LCA, light combat aircraft, which we now 40 plus 83 AON, which could soon be converted into a contract. So the future is very bright, and of course, it depends on the deliveries, what we promise.
All right, just keep an eye out on those numbers. Siemens, the stock has seen a sharp correction from the high point of the day. The net profit, in fact, has come in, it's looking like a sharp cut over there. And Anisha is telling us as well that, there is an exceptional gain in there. The revenue is lower than estimates, and that explains why, in fact, the stock is moving lower. Mangalam as well. Mangalam, you have something to say. The stock, the street was awaiting these numbers. Anisha says first look is looking like a miss.
Right. It looks like a miss from the top line itself. The revenue growth of what, 1.6%. We had estimates from one brokerage and they showed a growth of 14%. So 1.6% is a miss. And remember, the stock was buzzing yesterday. Trying to calculate the EBITDA itself, the brokerage was estimating about 325 crores. That is something we'll have to watch out for. But the stock was buzzing ahead of numbers, and 1.6% on the top line as against 14% expectations could go down as a miss as well, right?
Absolutely, Mangalam. A few more details that are coming in there. Anisha is saying that the new orders growth by around 10%, in quarter four. Remember, this is the quarter four for them. The order backlog, though, is at near all-time highs. That's at around 12,000 crores approximately. And remember, there's an exceptional gain as well of around 560 crores. We'll have a closer look at that. But one thing's clear that, in fact, on the top line, there's a bit of a miss. Though the stock has recovered now, it's bouncing back up. We'll have to look, we'll have to look at... have a closer look at these numbers, and then in fact we'll have Anisha address these numbers. Yeah, Mangalam.
Well, I calculated the EBITDA. The calculated EBITDA comes at around 317 crores. This again is a miss as compared to the polls that we had, which was about 325 crores. Not the poll, the estimate that we had. So it looks like a miss from the EBITDA front as well. That's all I had to say.
Okay, all right, Mangalam. Thanks so much for that. Well, we'll wrap up on the show. We'll come back from the break, and in fact, we'll get you more on these numbers. The stock is moving around. It appeared like a bit of a miss on the top line. We're having a closer look at the numbers. There's an exceptional gain as well in there, though the order book is at all-time highs.